welcome to GBN Live. I'm your host, Tracy Hansen. I'd like to take a moment before we get started to thank our sponsor, Grand Strand Law Group. They have offices in Myrtle Beach and North Myrtle Beach. Their phone number is 843-492-5422. You can also reach them at grandstrandlawgroup.com. And also you can leave your comments for our guests today in the comments section. You may to grant us permission to show them. And to do that, you go to streamyard.com/Facebook, and that should grant us permission. So if you do have any questions or comments for today's guests, please type them in your comment section and we'll do our best to get them answered. So today we're going to welcome Leon Holden and Russ Christian from Best Service Heating and Cooling. So they are with the Pee Dee Chapter of GBN, and we will be right back. All right, well, welcome back. We are with Leon Holden and Russ Christian from Best Service Heating and Cooling. Welcome, guys. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, awesome. And you guys are with the Pee Dee Chapter of GBN, correct?
We are.
Great.
We've been there for a few years now.
Oh, good. So you made the drive in?
Yeah, every day.
Was it too bad? Was it?
Well, I would say it's about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Hour away from it. It depends on traffic. So.
Yeah. Do you pass Buc-ee's on your way? Or
Well, I live
no,
right
so-
near.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. That's my fave.
Yeah, we've been going there every time we go to Spartanburg for volleyball for my daughter.
It's an
and-
adventure.
Yeah, we got to get out. You like it?
For
All
sure.
right. All right. Awesome. Well, we're so glad you guys made it in and are able to join us today. So before we start talking about Best Service Heating and Cooling, we want to know a little bit about you. So tell us a little bit about where you're from originally, what brought you here, or maybe you've grown up here.
Yeah, I was born in Florence. I've been there pretty much all my life, with the exception of 6 years that I was in Columbus, Ohio, which is where Russ and I met. And he became a lot of things to me, and now is a business partner. So, but other than that, I'm single, never been married, no kids, not of my own anyway. So, but here we are. That's me.
That's
in a
awesome.
nutshell.
Awesome. What about you, Russ?
I'm from Columbus, Ohio. I'm actually born in Indiana, but life go all over the country. But ended up in Columbus. Met my wife there. Married in Ohio. We started a business, heating and cooling, Best Service there. Like I said, met Leon. He came up to Bible College, so I met him through that, and he came to work for our company there in Columbus. For well over the years, we've always stayed in contact. So we decided, hey, let's start something in Myrtle Beach. We actually started in Florence 5 years ago, but we've recently moved the office down here to Myrtle Beach.
Nice.
And said, yeah, I need something to do.
Great.
So that all started. I called Leon and said, hey, we're looking to open up a branch. I said, you in? He said, I'm in. Here we are.
Well, you have more gray hair now,
So how many locations do you have? I mean,
Columbus
seems to be
and
everywhere.
yeah, our main office in Columbus, and we have our office here in Myrtle Beach. We do Florence, between Myrtle Beach and Florence heavy. I've been a part of other companies. A buddy of mine, we started a company in Dallas, Texas. It's still running strong.
Oh, wow.
And I actually started in Indianapolis, Indiana. When I was 19, I got a license and had a company there for a couple of years until I moved to Texas. And then I moved to Texas for a number of years and ran a company there and then started our own. And like I said, when I ended up coming back to Ohio, my partner and I, he kept it going, said, well, we started nothing together and you just got something. And I ended up here.
Right. Rest is
Constantly
history.
starting over.
Let's start another one.
Right. So for sure. Why not? So now I know your company offers residential and then light commercial services. What makes your company stand out above the rest? Because there's a bunch of companies out. So what can you offer?
Well, I think a lot of what we get feedback from is how we follow up with things, and other companies don't. So we have
So important.
that is a creed that we abide by. That we have definitely we have customer service, service after the sale.
Mhm.
kind of
Yeah.
thing.
People tell us when we go out, they say, "Oh, you actually showed up."
Mm.
That just blows my mind. But I guess
Right.
that's a thing
Right.
that doesn't happen a lot in the area. And I go, well, okay, we ought to shine at that
Right.
because we want to show up. I don't like to be late. I don't like other people to be late with me. And so
Yeah.
just do what you say, say what you do.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, the basis of customer service. I think with
Yeah.
everything, people making appointments online, and
Mhm.
you really never even, you can have a whole service and you never talk to
Oh
anybody,
yeah,
and it's easy then for someone not to show up because there's no connection.
yeah.
There's no personality to
Yeah.
it or anything.
I mean,
So
it's easy to
yeah.
make those appointments online,
right,
they say, but you still have to have personal touch. My wife
right,
and I are at the age we still look back and say, I want to talk to somebody. I mean, we may do all of
yeah,
that, but we tell the staff all the time, okay, I don't care. You emailed them 4 times. Did you pick up the phone?
right,
Follow up,
right.
follow up,
And
follow
that
up. follow
follow
up.
up, yep, and that's super important too because
It
a lot
is.
of businesses stop when the job's over. Call us if you need us.
We want a
But that's
lifetime
great.
customer. And one thing that we've
Hmm.
experienced in Columbus, I'm on third and fourth generation family members now still using us, and we want to experience that here.
Yeah,
And that's what's exciting because a lot of these families we know their kids, and now
right.
we're learning their kids.
And that tells you a lot about a company,
Yeah.
for sure.
So
So
that's
that's
how we
awesome.
build
Yeah.
it. And that's our philosophy here
Yeah,
too.
it
We want it
is.
long term.
Yeah. Excellent. So now I know you guys also offer 24-hour service, but what could somebody do to prevent having to use the 24-hour service?
Call during the day. um, maintenance goes a long way.
But yeah, you touched it.
Maintenance
Right.
goes a long way, and we offer service agreements that we come out twice a year. That most companies only offer one company. There are others that offer twice
Depends
a
what
year,
you like.
right? So, but we like to come out twice a year. One in the respective seasons, one time each in the respective seasons. But preventive maintenance goes a long way in having the after hours calls.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, a dirty air filter for one
Okay.
thing. That's the number one killer of air conditioners.
Really?
Yes.
And it's like the easiest
It's the
thing to
easiest
do.
thing
And
in
it's
the
the thing
world to
people
do.
don't do.
Everybody can buy a filter at Home Depot. And filters range anywhere from $2 to $30.
Mhm.
But you have to pay attention on what kind of filter you put in there. That's another story.
Mhm.
Just because it says it's really good, it's a 90-day filter, doesn't mean you can leave it in there 90 days.
Really? So what
Yeah,
do you mean by that?
because
I
it's
buy
all about
90-day
well,
filters all the
exactly,
time.
and you're paying a lot for that filter.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it does a good job. But it's so restrictive on airflow
Okay.
that as it loads up, it just gets harder and harder for that system to push air through that. Well, most systems aren't designed for that high static pressure. You
Okay.
end up stressing your motor out and can cause premature motor failure on that. So you got to really pay attention to that.
Wow.
I recommend like a MERV 10. That's a rating on a filter.
Okay.
That handles 90% of the systems out there. But filter is the biggest problem. A dirty filter can increase your electric bill by 15%.
Wow.
That's a chunk of money.
That's a chunk of money.
And
I'm gonna go buy a filter on the way home.
so I mean, it's that simple. It's not, but it's that routine maintenance, like
Mhm.
Leon mentioned. If you
Mhm.
can stay ahead of that, the reason we like to do 2 times a year, it's hot here,
Mhm.
and the system, and most of them are electric heat pumps, so they run a lot. The heat pump
Right.
is designed to run, so it needs looked at because things happen. And when people find out their heat pump's not working, it's when they got their electric bill and it went up 2 to 3 times what it normally is, and they go, oh, well, you got a
Right.
problem with your heat pump. Because
Wow.
a heat
Yeah.
pump will actually keep your heating bill half of what it normally would be. That's the
Okay.
advantage of having a heat pump system. But
Gotcha.
filter is the number one thing.
Gotcha. And you said the rating of MERV 10, is that written right on
Yeah,
there?
there'll be MERV ratings you can say, but
Okay.
that's a good middle of the road filter. That a little trick we used to show people: you can take a filter, some little cheap filters you see for $1 or $2. Take the filter, take a salt shaker, but make sure you got a broom handy
Okay.
because it's going to go right through to the floor.
Okay.
But then you can get a little better filter. You do that, and you may have to shake it to get it through. Well, that's going to do a better job stopping air particles. best
Okay.
articles.
Mhm.
But if you get the one that's, cardboard's 100% efficient, if you start that in there, but that's going to create other problems. People don't.
They're gonna
They,
be stressful all
Yeah.
day
for a
about
living, so they don't
yeah.
get it.
Right,
get
and you
that.
don't think
But
that
it's
much
that
about
simple.
it.
Yeah.
You're just like, how much does this one cost, and how much does this one cost? 90 days, 1 month, and
That
that's
doesn't
about as far as I
necessarily make
go.
a better filter. That's correct.
Yeah.
Changing your filter is the key.
Yeah, it really is. Stay on top of that. If you just did that every 60 days, you are so far ahead of everybody else.
Good to know. Yeah,
And,
awesome, and good to remember. I mean, I think everyone knows it, but you forget.
Well,
And you
dirty
do.
filter
You forget.
can cause your unit to freeze up.
Mhm,
Well, a lot of these units are in the attic
mhm.
space. Well, guess what happens when that water leaks over the pan?
Yeah.
Now
Those
you get
roof
to the
issues.
ceiling.
Yeah.
Yep.
So pretty inexpensive insurance policy. Keep
I always call like an ounce of preventative is worth
Exactly.
a pound of cure, right?
Every time. It always works.
I mean, speaking of trying to keep our electric bill down, and that is an awesome tip. I usually leave my thermostat around like 72 because that's where I'm comfortable. Is there a setting that you recommend where it's, comfortable but good on your bill?
Every person's different. I tell people, set it, leave it alone.
Hmm. Okay.
Sometimes they'll say, I'm going to work, so I'm going to turn my AC off. Worst thing in the world to do.
Okay.
Because your air conditioner is designed to pull humidity out. We know about humidity
Mhm.
here. But what happens when you shut that off or turn it up way high to not run when you're at the office? All the humidity that was pulled out when the air conditioner ran is now seeping back in through the windows, the doors, the walls. So now when you turn it on, you get home at 5 o'clock, 4 or 5 o'clock, the heat of the day, and turn it back on, that poor air conditioner is going, really?
Right.
I
Yeah. It's
just
got to
had
like
this
make
out
up for all
yesterday.
that.
Now I
Sure.
got to do it again. So you don't start feeling really cool and comfortable till 9 o'clock that evening.
Right.
It has to do all that work over. So the fact that you keep it on 72 and leave it, I think that's the best thing. In Ohio, with heating, we can, some setback works out pretty good because we do a lot of gas heat there.
Mhm.
Quick recovery, not so much. Do you have anything to add to that?
No, I think you hit it right on the
Yeah.
mark. And I mean, as far as the direct temperature, specific temperature is really left up to the individual what they're comfortable with.
Right.
I like it a little cooler, obviously,
Right.
but
Yeah. Well,
But-
speaking of that, a lot of people have that different. We have some people, I want 65 in the house. The units aren't designed to do 65 in the house. And that sometimes they have trouble realizing that because every part of the country has what we call design temperature.
Okay.
What the median heat or cooling temperature would be. Well, when we size heating, furnaces, and air conditioners, that's what we size with.
Mhm.
Ohio's different thing here. I can take the same square footage home in Myrtle Beach versus Ohio and Columbus, and down here it'll be about a ton to a ton and a half bigger for the same square footage, much
Because of the
hotter
humidity,
temperature
yeah.
and humidity.
Right.
So we have to size that. If you just randomly put bigger's better, no, because if you get too big, now we're going to get mold going in your ductwork because it
Ah,
doesn't pull the moisture out. So sizing makes a difference,
Wow.
especially on that. That's how
Wow.
you keep your energy bills under control and a comfort level in your home that you can live with and not create other issues.
Sure. Yeah.
Because mold is, everybody
good.
hates mold.
Yeah. And we definitely have our
Yeah,
share.
but you're under the gun on that anyway because it's so humid here to start with. So
Yeah.
that's why I said set the air conditioner and leave it alone.
Leave it. Yeah, that's good advice for sure. So after the break, we are going to discuss different services that Best Service offers. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Jess the San. I've been a canine liaison at Grand Strand Law Group for, 30 years? What's that? You don't believe me? I meant 30 dog years, of course. First rule of lawyering, read the fine print. Anywho, my humans at Grand Strand Law Group have a combined 20 years experience. I know, not as much as me, but that's in people years. So yeah, still pretty impressive. Real estate, estate planning, or probate, you need GSLG.
Grand Strand Law Group. Trust us, we have a dog.
Great Business Networking grew out of the idea that by creating lasting friendships within the community, we can make the community even better.
I was looking to network with professionals and to be able to refer my clients to somebody that I trust.
Well, it's really important to trust the members of the group because we really generate quality referrals, and to know somebody, be friends with them, and get that the qualified referral is the key to success.
It is networking, but it doesn't feel like networking, and that is important to me. I come to the meetings, I have fun, I make great connections, and I help grow my business.
GBN, these are some of the best professionals in the market, and having that resource available to me, that's priceless.
Well, GBN is a network of business professionals that build long-lasting friendships that will not only grow my business, will grow yours as well. That's what referral marketing is all about.
GBN really is the most important marketing for your business. Check us out today.
All right, welcome back to GBN Live. I'm your host, Tracy Hansen. I'm with the Saybrook chapter, so shout out Saybrook. Before the break, well, I'd like to thank our sponsors again, Grand Strand Law Group, with offices in Myrtle Beach and North Myrtle Beach. You can reach them at 843-492-5422, also at grandstrandlawgroup.com. We're here with Russ Christian and Leon Holden with Better Service Heating and Cooling. So before the break, we mentioned a little bit about what other services you guys provide, and I'd like to talk a little bit about them. Can we talk a little bit about ductless systems?
Yeah, absolutely. Ductless systems, I think, are the wave of the future.
Okay.
Personally, they are very convenient. They're less maintenance, kind of thing. If you have like a sunroom or any kind of addition that you're looking to cool or heat, for that matter, a ductless system is a good option. So
They come in. You can ask what's nice about doing a ductless system. What we mean by that, you have the normal condenser or air conditioner that everyone calls it. It's outside. Then normally you have some type of air moving device inside the house, furnace, electric furnace, whatever. You run ductwork off of that. On the ductless, we have that outdoor unit, and we connect it with a set of copper lines, and it goes to like a wall unit, either down low or up high, and that's it. No ductwork.
That's
And
fascinating.
it's very quiet, very efficient, and the nice thing about it, if you do one with multiple zones or heads, we call the inside part a head, you're zoning your house. If I'm not in that room, I don't have to keep it the same temperature. It can be different, and I'm cooling or heating the space I'm in, and it just goes back and forth as you need it. You can do that with the traditional system, but there's certain things you have to do to make that happen, and we can do that as well. But with the ductless, it's for those homes when you just don't have the room to get ductwork.
Right.
Okay.
Or you're doing a big addition or something like that. But we're starting to do jobs like that even on newer homes. They're just going in with ductless.
Wow, really?
And cooling the
and
whole house.
just spacing it out with all these different units. You don't even know they're on.
Wow, so I can see why you say it's like the wave of the future.
Yeah, it
'Cause
really
you're seeing
is.
it like
They've
with
been
the new
around.
construction.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they've been around a long time. Europe, they use that a lot there, but here, America's been a little different. We have our air system, but it's definitely taking over and starting to be something people look at now. Used to, you could say ductless and you go, what? Now we get phone calls asking us about it.
Wow. I think that's fascinating.
Yeah, they do a great job.
Yeah,
they're also known as mini splits. So,
okay.
Yeah. So if you've heard the term mini split,
I have. Okay.
And they also make one that can be ducted. It's called a mini split, but it has a unit that we can actually run ductwork off of. Those are really nice on room additions. So you got to like people have taken a big room and converted it into 4 smaller rooms, and they don't want to do heads in each room. We can put one unit in the attic, very small and compact, and just run a little duct off of it. You still get the same efficiency. Really nice.
Wow. So, we do hear a lot about ducts for duct work and getting your ducts cleaned. So why is that so important if you do have ductwork in your house?
It goes back to maintenance and air quality. So
Okay.
definitely, you know, if you have a duct system and it's been a while since you've had them cleaned or even
You
looked
should
at,
forget about that too.
you know, out of sight, out of mind. You know, definitely is something to consider if you haven't had your ducts cleaned.
Right.
The difficulty is when it's flex duct and maybe even some of the other board that
duct board.
Yeah,
But you got to be careful with that.
yeah, because you get loose particles in there, and then you know that's something you want to contend with. If you have ductwork that is flex duct, then you have a tendency the machines have a tendency to tear the ductwork. So you have to be cautious.
Yeah, there's many different types of units out there.
Okay.
They have some that have a power brush, which does a great job. There's a negative air machine where you actually pull like a big vacuum on the entire system, and you run high pressure air balls through there, blows the dust. That all works great. We would say be cautious. We have duct cleaning, but don't do that. If it's a real, say you've got 20-year-old ductwork, flexible ductwork, that can get very brittle, and if you're not careful, you can tear it.
Oh, okay.
Then that's a big problem. So you just got to be conscious of that. Some people just get in there and do it. We want to make sure it's not going to be a problem.
Yeah.
But back to that, I'll just tie this in. If you're taking care of your air filter, you shouldn't be needing the ductwork clean. You know, because it goes back into that. Now the return side is the duct filter, so that's always going to be the dirtiest.
Okay.
So that's gathering all the air in your home or office before the filter, and that's in the duct. Then your filter is supposed to stop it. So
if you don't have a good maintenance program, we all do. So,
Right.
so you tie that all together. But that's what causes that. Duct cleaning is not inexpensive. I mean, you're going to spend several $100s typically to do an average home.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It does work.
Right.
If it's done right.
So let me ask you this then: with ductless, you don't need it.
Nope.
Right.
Don't need
so
less maintenance.
Less maintenance on that, and less to worry about.
Oh, you still have a filter inside that head, and those are washable. You just pop those out and wash it, put it back in, and you're just
But we have maintenance plans for those too.
One thing we don't dust. That's still up to you. Just because it says a ductless split doesn't say dustless.
Doesn't say dustless.
Yeah.
So kind of along the same lines, you know, the ductless systems. Now there's tankless water heaters as well. Can you talk a little bit about the benefits of a tankless water heater? Because I see that a lot too.
Yeah. Tankless is a great way to go. You're either going to have a gas unit if you have natural gas in your home. You can even get a tankless with propane, or you can get electric.
Okay.
Now, for example, in the northern region, we do a lot of tankless, but they're usually always gas. Our groundwater is so cold, typically 50 degrees, and can be colder than that. A tankless electric one require a lot of energy and a lot of power supply to that. A lot of maintenance. So we won't even sell an electric tankless in Ohio, for example. Here in South Carolina, tankless electric's no problem.
Right.
Groundwater is much warmer. It doesn't have to work as hard. And the nice thing about a tankless unit, you don't have that tank you have to worry about that's going to leak and flood. You can have a problem with the tankless, but when you think about a storage tank unit, a normal water heater, you're heating that water 24 hours a day. It kicks off and on. You're on vacation, kicking off and on. You're still spending money. On a tankless unit, you're not spending any money until you turn the faucet on. When you turn the hot water faucet on, that activates the unit to superheat the water, and you get hot water off the faucet. It's not instant. That's the biggest confusion with tankless. People think, I want instant hot water. No, it's not instant. It's continuous.
So it doesn't run out if you have a teenager that takes a shower for an hour
Trust me.
and hypothetically, and then waits for the water to get cold and stays in there until it starts to heat back up again.
Yeah, we raised 5 of those.
Yeah.
And Dad came home. I didn't see a warm shower for years.
Yeah.
And then I said, man, I ought to do what I preach. I'm going to put a tankless in my house. After that, we could run 3 showers at the same time, no problem.
Some of the advantages
Sold.
of being single, though.
Sold.
Yeah.
Hot water.
So anyway, yeah, that's the big advantage. You don't have to worry.
Yeah.
And the other side of it is, you're saving on that. It is about 50% more efficient
Okay.
than a standard water heater. But the other side of that is, it is going to require some maintenance.
Mhm.
You never really think about much maintenance on a
Right.
tank.
Until
Sometimes
it's
people will
leaking.
flush it. There's pros and cons on that. On a tankless, you want to make sure the electric connection is good. You don't see any corrosion. You do need to get them inspected. You're looking for that, and every once in a while, you might have to descale it.
Mhm.
And it all depends on the condition of your water. But even that, here in this area, we found that not to be that big of a deal. In Ohio, for example, descaling can be an issue.
Right.
And it can get, it's basically a high-end boiler that's mounted on the wall. So you're going to spend some money on that.
So we talked a little bit, you mentioned when we were talking about the Douglas systems, zoning and different zoning in your house. So what exactly does that mean?
Zoning is
And
wonderful.
and how, what's over
The
there?
best thing on zoning to think of is having one system that can do 5 or 6 different areas in your home. It's like having a thermostat in each one of those areas. You can have whatever temperature you want with one unit.
In different rooms.
In different rooms.
Oh, okay.
Makes it really nice,
Okay.
especially like a 2-story home. Now, another way of zoning is zoning with equipment. You'll see a lot of homes here in South Carolina that'll have a system for the main floor, system for the upper level. That's great. That's zoning with equipment. The downside to that, if there is one, it costs you more to do 2 complete systems. You got twice the energy cost now. You have 2 systems, twice the maintenance cost. So,
right.
But the
if one
advantage
unit
to that-
dies, you still got a system.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Zoning,
Sure.
on the other hand, we do it with one, so you got lower costs, because zoning, you can put a zone system in for typically half the cost of additional system for that
Okay.
upper level. So now I can do it with the one system, move the air where I want it when I want it. And that's how it works.
Right.
So
Gotcha.
they're basically a big flat.
Yeah.
And that's
Okay.
on the inside of the ductwork.
Okay.
And you can have electric or pneumatic. We like to use pneumatics.
Yeah, I like the pneumatic system. It's
so
quiet.
And we've had a number of customers. I can think of one that was having an issue with upstairs, and then we recently, last year I think it was,
nice.
put in a zone system, and she loves it.
Yeah.
So
She
they
actually
work.
gets what she wants upstairs now.
Right. Because when you're sleeping, it may be different than when you're going about your day. So
Yeah. Because what happens
that's
when you have
awesome.
one thermostat at a house, and then you've got one big unit that's doing the up and downstairs? Cold air is heavy.
Yeah.
It's always going to drop to the bottom. So where's the thermostat? It's at the bottom. It's satisfied. It shuts
Right,
off.
and
Now I'm 12 degrees hotter upstairs.
Yep.
So you say, I'll just crank it down. Well, now when I go down to breakfast, somebody move the side of beef that's been
Right,
brought
'cause
in.
it's
Because
freezing.
you
It's
can hang it
true.
there.
Yeah.
And, zoning eliminates all of that.
That sounds great. Yeah,
So
that sounds
that's
awesome.
a nice product. Yeah.
So, so we're doing a quick section of our show, which we call rapid fire. So I'm going to rapidly fire some questions at you,
Well, that sounds like fun.
and you can give me your answers. But these are easy. It's just a little bit to get to know you better and to kind of shake it up a little, All right. What was your first job?
Hardee's.
Hardee's.
Mine, tearing out a gravity furnace in Indianapolis, Indiana. You know what a gravity furnace is? It's
No.
the size of a VW.
Oh my God.
That's a normal home. So you go in and tear out a VW bug and carry it outside and take a new one in. That's the first job.
That sounds like a lot of work for a first
Oh,
job.
God. Did that for a long time.
Are you a night owl or an early bird?
Early bird.
24 hours.
Yeah. All right. Dog or cat person, Leon?
I like both.
Okay.
Dog.
Russ, dog. Dark or milk chocolate?
Milk.
Milk.
My wife
Yeah.
trained me. I'm dark chocolate.
All
It used to be milk chocolate, but I got hooked on it.
right. Favorite color?
Blue.
Blue.
All right. Favorite word or phrase?
Get to work.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, I like her. That's the best. I think that's the best answer we've had. What's your favorite movie?
Oh my, I'm not a movie
You can
buff.
pass too. Yeah.
Patriot is
Oh,
very,
that is a
it's in
good
the
one.
top 3.
Yeah, that is a good one. Favorite song or artist or genre?
Oh, I like it all, but Zach Williams he's a contemporary Christian artist,
Yeah,
and
he's
I like
good.
him pretty
Yeah,
good.
he's pretty good. I like it all.
Yeah, awesome. What about a favorite vacation spot?
So, I'm looking here.
Now you gotta get a new one.
My wife might hear that.
The Caribbean's really nice.
We've been there so much on different. Yeah, I'm done with the Caribbean.
Just a cruise ship.
Yeah, nice. And what about your favorite mobile app?
GBN.
Very good answer.
So I get an extra cup.
Yeah. You get 2 cups.
Mine. Oh God, I'm gonna say. Yeah, we'll go with you too.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Thank you for that, for playing along. I know it just kind of breaks it up a little bit. So just to get back to what we were talking about, so for our viewers to get to know Best Service Heating and Cooling, what would be their first step if they wanted to, set up a relationship and, services?
Call our office, 843-314-BEST or 843-314-2378. That's our office number. And
Try our service plan.
Yeah.
Try us out with that. I mean, everyone needs equipment service.
Okay.
So try us out with that. I don't think you'll be disappointed. That's the main thing.
Awesome.
And then if you need a quote on equipment,
we give free estimates.
We give free estimates.
Okay.
We're very competitive. I don't want to be the low guy.
Right.
And people need to realize low is not always the best.
Right.
What was left out.
Right.
So you just got to remember that. But we're going to be that middle of the road, a good level of equipment, and the service you'll.
And that's what puts you over the top is the customer service.
The customer service is that's in our name.
Yeah. And you mean it. Awesome. Very good. So one more thing before we get going, and it's been great talking to you guys. Learned a lot. Yeah, it was great. Fantastic. But can you tell me referral marketing is so important for your business and why you chose an organization like GBN?
Yeah, I'm a PR kind of guy. So I love to get out and get the feel of different people. So having professionals that are like-minded and have the same concept that you want to offer the best that you can offer, the best product, whatever category that is. And then you having friends that you can develop into with some of those relationships, and not just business relationships. They actually develop into friendships. That goes a long way.
Well, we built our business on referral.
Yeah.
I mean, back when it all started, because without the one there, we wouldn't be here. We didn't have the money to advertise.
Right.
So what are you gonna do? You can talk to people.
Yeah.
So what we did every fair, every county fair, every home show, whatever it was, we made sure we were in that so we could talk. And if we talk, then the relationship, and they go, well, they actually mean what they say. And that's how we built our business. That's why we're still doing generational families now, because we've maintained that. I mean, nobody's perfect, but the deal, if you stub your toe, communicate, solve the problem.
Right.
We don't run from problems.
Right. Awesome.
That's
yeah, for sure. That's
great.
We just run to the beach.
Right. Just come to the beach.
But
there's no problems here.
Referrals will move that for you because that's what they'll say. They remember everything.
Yeah, that's
but
sure.
they took care of this, and that's when the referral. Nobody's going to explain that better than the person that had that happen to.
Yeah.
Customer service is our number one priority. So
that's great. I can tell too. It's evident, and that's fantastic. Well, thanks for joining us. Again, we appreciate you making the drive down here. And remember, everyone, it's Wednesday, GBN Live. See you next time.